In today's video, we're doing a book review, RC Racing. It's more than just a hobby. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name's Troy. This is Roadside RC. On this channel, you'll see a whole bunch of us are driving RCs, whether it's bashing, crawling, racing, drifting, whatever it is. We'll show you how to fix them when they're broke. We're also going to show you some other stuff about RC along the way. And today, we are looking at RC Racing. It's more than just a hobby, published by KMC Publishing. All right, this book's interesting. So picked it up off of Amazon. I can provide you a link down below. It's published in 2010. And it shows. All right, so there's a lot of stuff in this book that's around like the frequencies of crystals that you use in the old style controllers, not the 2.4 gigahertz controllers that we use now. There's stuff like NiCad and nickel metal hydride batteries, which yes, they're still a thing, but man, like they're not really the mainstream anymore. Even brushless motors in this is kind of talked about kind of as like the new thing that we'll see if it catches on. So it goes into different brands that are pretty popular, and a couple brands that are missing is Red Cat and Arma, which is, you know, some things that are pretty common at this point. But it's not necessarily a bad thing that this book is written in 2010 and that some of these things are outdated, because this book is really geared towards entry level, somebody who is looking at like, should I get into the RC hobby or not? And really, it was like $10. So if you're willing, if as many of you who are watching this know, spending hundreds and maybe thousands of dollars on vehicles, probably worth a good $10 to figure out if you actually think you might be interested in this hobby or not first. It doesn't actually list an author's name, so maybe it was a group collaboration underneath KMC Publishing. But I'm guessing that this author probably came from planes or boats. There's a lot of talk in this book around like using wood, building it, sourcing the components, that kind of thing. It even mentions at one point like how you could build your RC car out of wood, which is a thing. You could do that, but I don't own a single RC vehicle that actually has wood in it at all. So looking through the table of contents of what's in this book, first is all around getting started. And I would say that there's probably some stuff in here there's definitely things in here that I really agree with. So as it talks about, this is like a leisure hobby, some skills that you need to work up to with it. One of the things that it mentions is that's why you have to be careful that you understand what you're buying when you just begin with this particular hobby. You don't want to spend money on a model and crash it the first time because you bought one outside your skill level, right? Have we all seen people that do that, right? They haven't even been in this before and they want to immediately buy the biggest, baddest, most expensive RC that they can. Sometimes that works out fine for you. Sometimes it doesn't. The key to having a great time with radio-controlled hobbies is to embark on a project that fits with how much you want to work. And I thought that, and I immediately actually put an X next to this and said I disagree with this. I think it's right and it's wrong. You know, there are people who maybe they get into and they want to get into crawling, and then but really they enjoy the tinkering on it hobby, and there's tinkering to be done in there. But you know, I think of like bashing, and there's definitely times in which I choose to not go out and go bashing because I don't want to have to fix them when I get back. Like that's a thing. Like that's kind of how that works. So understanding the differences of the hobby, I think this quote applies much more to choosing which aspect of the hobby that you want to get into, like a crawling or a drifting versus like a bashing or a racing. Maybe those are different levels of that amount of work that you want to do before you get in there. One thing that this book goes into a lot, which I don't actually agree with, and if you know the channel at all, you know that I have my kids involved heavily in this, so you'll probably understand why I disagree with this. There's whole pieces in here that suggest, some suggestions say a child who can't drive a real car should not be entrusted with a radio-controlled vehicle. A real car. So where I live, you have to be 16 years old to drive a real car. So you're trying to say that nobody should be in RC until after they're at 16 years old? Like, I was in it way before I was 16. I have a kid that's 6 and 10 that are in it right now. Like, you know, like I can't go there with you on that one. I think it's smart and it's appropriate to choose the right skill level and the right amount of safety and control and be considerate when you do that. But to say that like they shouldn't be involved in it at all, I think is not there. Goes into that a whole lot more. Actually has a whole page of like do's or don'ts if you're getting into RC for the first time. And this whole more safety rules over here, see the big question mark and all the X's, that's again where most of these are all around buy children high quality durable RC toy grade, match the size of the RC to the age and size of the child, be aware of choking parts. It's not, again, it's not necessarily like wrong, but is it really what I would agree with? I don't know. So we get through some of that kind of stuff. Again, we're talking about the types of RC cars, how you select them, the different kind of components that are in them, like the different kind of motors, the different kind of speed controls, basics of how you would operate an RC, high level stuff around maintenance and how you'd clean one, how you'd upkeep one, and then goes into even some a little bit around how would you go about racing or getting involved with clubs, things along those lines. So again, overall pretty good. Again, what would I recommend that somebody who's been in the hobby for years, would I recommend you spend the 10 bucks and go out and buy it? No, I don't think so. But I'll be honest, I've almost thought about keeping a copy of this like handy, like in my bag where, you know, when we go out, when we're bashing or going out crawling or something like that, keeping one near me all the time, so that if we run into somebody who maybe it's a younger kid, maybe it's an adult, whoever it is, and they say, you know what, I'm kind of interested in getting into this RC hobby, I can just hand it to them, right? I can literally just say like, here, take this, read this, see if you think you might be interested, see if there's anything in it that that interests you. As I close this out, I think the last statement in the whole book I think is appropriate, which is the world of radio-controlled vehicles is exciting, fascinating, and oh so much fun, right? There it is, RC Racing, It's More Than Just a Hobby by KMS Publishing. So then the last, if you're a subscriber to this channel and you think you might be interested in this book, well, hey, I have this copy right here that I've got all marked up. It has all my notes in it. It has my tags across the top. If you're interested and you want it, first person who tells me down below that they're interested in this and can get connected with me on maybe Facebook or Instagram so I can get a address from you, I'll ship it to you. I've read it. I'm done with it. If somebody that supports me really wants it, it's yours. So thanks, folks. We'll see you in the next video. Let me know down below, right? Question of the day. Let me know down below. Did you enjoy this? Did you appreciate the fact that I went out and bought the book, read it, and kind of gave you this little book report for it? There are some more books out there on RC, and I'm thinking about doing it again. So let me know if this was good or not. While we're going through, hey, there's some other video that you want to see of mine, please go over here on your right and look for, click one of these over here and go ahead and follow in through the next video. Otherwise, folks, hey, thank you very much. We will see you next time.